2 to go, Wiggy, for your
Let's
Celtics.
go, C's.
I mean,
hell of a fourth quarter by Tatum.
I am saying nothing about Jason Tatum on this show today.
Fourth quarter's all that matters around
Is that
here.
it? That's all that matters?
That's what everybody tells me. Hell of a fourth quarter, JT.
Yeah, all right. Well, I will.
You were nowhere to be found in the first 3 quarters, but the fourth one is all that matters.
He went missing for a while,
He
but
did.
I don't know what's going on with Jason Tatum.
Stop shooting. He can't.
Those threes early on.
Yeah, he's just like he's not feeling it from behind the three-point line.
We got a couple of the dramatic fallaways that I love, and they didn't fall either. I mean, sometimes they're just not falling.
Yeah. No, it's not been a good shooting week for Tatum. And you know what I have an idea. Next year, we should all pay off the All-NBA voters to omit Tatum, just like they left off Jalen, so he goes off for 40 in a playoff game. Because that's how you do it, Greg. When you're disrespected nationally, you prove them wrong in the playoffs on the floor.
Yes.
JB.
I would assume there's no question about who is the winner of the painted golden dong this morning.
No question at all.
It's Jaylen
Shine
Brown.
right again. Blowout City.
16-point dub, baby.
Okay. I mean, was it really a blowout?
I mean, they had that game well in hand in the fourth quarter.
In the fourth quarter, yes. I mean, they had a 16-point lead in the second quarter, which disappeared. I mean, listen.
When Svi Mikhailou makes an appearance, Greg, it's a blowout.
they're gonna win this series.
Yeah.
And
slow down.
They are gonna win this series,
especially with Halliburton being out now.
I mean, but you have to give some credit to Indiana. I mean, they're clearly not the better team talent wise, but they play their.
They play hard.
You know what's off. Can I say ass on this show?
Yes,
I don't know these days. Okay.
Yep.
They play their asses off. But I mean, listen, that's you won both at home, and you're off to Indiana for tomorrow night in Game 3, and you can talk about that all day long with us this morning on the Friday before Memorial Day. By the way, AAA warning that more people will travel beginning right now and all weekend long than ever before on a Memorial Day weekend.
I believe the actual number was like 43 million or something like that.
43 million. They're all going to be on the expressway at some point today. All 47 million of them.
Can somebody answer what happened at Logan yesterday? I don't know. There was just ordinary traffic.
I have no idea. I was, unfortunately, yesterday, I was assisting in giving Wiggy a tour of an oyster farm.
That you were.
In Falmouth.
It was very, I learned a lot. Educational.
Yes. You were not a fan of the Cape. But
I didn't know the Cape.
Are you now a fan of Cape Cod?
I know that I am on the Cape, not in the Cape.
Yes,
nailed it.
But something happened.
It was just gridlock. And then my favorite is that when you get off at the South Boston Seaport exit, that the people they called it in England junction hopping. You get off on an exit and then you jump back on and you avoid traffic. So there was just gridlock right off the Mass Pike in South Boston. About 90 minutes of not moving.
And
it was just a beautiful night driving in Boston.
We should have Big Dig 2.0 and just build everything high. Roads above the roads.
Right. I think we should get Ken to invest in an EEI chopper.
I think that would be great.
Yeah, I don't think that's happened. We can barely get pens around here. You want to get a chopper?
Can we get it from a different manufacturer than the Iranian government did?
Shout out to your boy Greg for giving us a tour of the
Jay Miller.
Yes.
Yeah, we went after the road show, which was extraordinary yesterday. Thank you to everybody in the entire Falmouth region who came out huge Wednesday night and came out huge yesterday at the Flying Bridge. Wiggy and I went to Jay Miller's place, and he has this oyster farm. They buy their oyster. You have to buy the oysters, and it's, correct me if I'm wrong, it's $10,000 per box of oysters.
Something like it was expensive.
And you grow them. You call it growing them. They
raise them.
You raise them in these little boxes off of the dock until the water gets warm enough, like 62 degrees or something,
60 degrees
to take them out and put them out in the farm in the ocean.
Right.
And it was very educational.
And I didn't realize that. I just thought oysters were like every other sea urchin creature.
Right. You thought they were just. You
They
thought
were just down there and you just fished for them.
Well, you thought you stepped on them and they peed.
Right. Yeah, I didn't know that they were like, weed seeds, and you put them down in
the weed of the ocean. But that's how Matunic Oyster Bar began. Perry he had just an oyster farm there.
Yes, and then turned it into a restaurant later. Yeah, so
beautiful compound by Jay Miller, though.
He's got a nice spot.
Oh, he's got a beautiful spot.
He's got a great spot, and it was a
very
lot of fun.
Hospitable.
Yes, we had a blast. We had an excellent time. He got you a chicken parm sandwich for lunch, which I thought was great.
Yep.
Just one.
Just one. That's it. That is it.
That was it. All right. Courtney is off again. I mean, if there ever were a flex day, Shime, today is a flex day.
Yeah.
National Flex Day.
It's gorgeous out there. It's in the 60s right now, and Curtis on the way to the upper 80s later on today. Is that right?
Upper 80s today. It's going to be gorgeous. A little cooler tomorrow, but the whole weekend should be spectacular.
All right.
Well, in addition to the Boston Celtics, we have a lot to get to on the show this morning, including the leads coming up in just about 15 minutes or so. They said it at 7. And we will certainly discuss what Jaylen Brown said post-game about the importance of individual honors for this Celtics team, among other things, during They Said It at 7. And I believe Shime has the news at 7:30 this morning, and that includes Florida, not like the rest of us. What a priest bit during communion. That was not the host. So we will get to that. We'll get to that coming up in just a little bit. And we would love for you to join us at any moment over the next 4 hours. If you want to call, it is 617-779-7937. If you prefer to text, you can text on the Subaru of New England text line, which is 37937. I love infuriating people. Here's a 781 text that says, "Greg, stop it. It was a blowout." Okay, it was a blowout.
There you go. Shine right again.
It's blowout by the Celtics in the second half of the fourth quarter. Great blowout.
I would just like to say, officially, knock on wood, immune to the jinx powers. Nailed it.
I wouldn't say that. I would not say that based on one news story involving a cinnamon roll. So I would say that the jinx is still alive and strong when it comes to you.
Oh, boy.
Your jinx is still alive. Let's see. 508 text this morning. This is playoff Tatum, Greg. Get used to it. What is playoff Tatum?
I have no idea.
He's here one moment, he's gone the next. What is playoff Jason Tatum?
I will say this, and I think we can all agree. Tatum isn't someone you can fully rely upon as a superstar in the playoffs right now. You could say
Wiggy's going to lose it.
Jaylen Brown is more reliable at this current point.
I think it's okay to ask the question, Wiggy.
Yeah, he struggled last night.
Is Jaylen Brown, who put up 40 last night,
go down this
25 or 24 in the first half, is he more reliable than Jason Tatum?
No, Jaylen Brown had a great game last night. We're not going to go because if we really
who's the MVP of the series through 2 games?
Drew Holiday.
Okay.
I mean, honestly,
defensively, he's been great.
Yes,
it's fair answer.
I mean, he had a 40 burger last night, Jaylen Brown.
But I mean, without Jaylen Brown, the series is tied.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, he's done a terrific job.
Yeah, I mean,
but I would also
say
the
three.
I would also say without Drew Holiday, you're not in a position
That's
to,
fair.
So I'm taking nothing away. I think we are at the point right now where Jaylen Brown, we know that he is a great player and he shows it. And when Tatum is kind of struggling a little bit, he's elevated Tatum's play. But we've seen Tatum score a ton where Brown would be struggling.
No, I'm right. But just strictly this series, I would say
so far,
Jaylen's the MVP.
I mean, Jaylen Brown hit the buzzer beater that got you into overtime in game 1.
Yeah.
And he kept you in that game last night in the first half. And then added 13 or 14 in the second half.
In a way, it's so crazy with Tatum. Like, it's almost in a very different way, like the Jeter A-Rod, where it's like, even though the team wins, it's still somehow an insult. Like, Skip Bayless is tweeting JB over JT, and everybody. It's like Tatum, no matter what the Celtics do, unless he's great, will remain the storyline.
No, I mean, it's a good problem to have if you have a superstar who doesn't necessarily live up to what your expectation is in a game, and you have another superstar, another max guy who is able to put up the points that you need.
That's what the NBA is. In order to win championships, you need two guys like that. That you look at Denver, right? If Jamal Murray is not having a great game, the Joker, is out there doing what the Joker does.
And it sounds like you may get Porzingis back by Game 4.
Is that what they're saying?
Is what the
Just
speculation
stop.
is. So
Take your time, Mr.
You think I agree with you, Curtis, on take your time, but I'd like to at least see him a game or two in this series just to know that when he's ready to go for the championship, rather than he plays game 1 in the championship and then he gets hurt and you're like, oh, what the hell, you know what I mean?
I hear you 100%. My only question is, let's say the series ends, what would it be, Monday night is Game 4, Shime?
Yes.
Okay.
So Game 3 is Saturday. Yes, Game 4 is Monday.
So the NBA Finals begin, I believe, like June 7th or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
So even if he plays, let's say 10 minutes in Game 4.
Right.
Isn't the cost versus the benefit far greater in terms of what could go wrong?
The potential cost. Yeah.
Because
yes.
like if you're already going to be another week before the finals, are you really getting him in game shape anyway? Because he's going to have that big of a break.
I guess you got a good point there.
Well, that's unfortunate because our song parodies still big in radio.
Oh, huge!
I had an idea for one on the way in this morning.
Oh, I can't wait.
I mean, are they? I know we don't do the birthdays, the celebrity birthdays, and the anniversaries anymore. But are song parodies still big, Shime, with you kids?
I think it depends on which one, but sometimes they hit pretty hard.
Want me to give you a little tease on it?
Oh, sure.
To start the show off this morning. It's beginning to look a lot like Kristaps.
All right. I like it.
No, come on. No.
Maybe you don't like it? The parody
sounds like a winner.
The parody's good, but maybe it's the timing. If you did that around December, I think it would.
No, that's the whole point of the parody. It's a parody.
No, I know, but it's like because it's
Christmas in the summer.
All right,
you got to need Porzingis back, especially now.
I'm workshopping that one.
Right.
Give me a break.